you ever been on a farm? When people come to visit me at my farm, they usually think it's a boring place with no technology and people who are not civilized. They couldn't be more wrong. Today on farms, there's Wi-Fi, computers, and much more technology than they think. But it wasn't always like this. When I was growing up, there were still some people who hated technology, but even more, the city people who brought it. At the time I met such a person, I was only a teenager. I had gone to visit my uncle's farm. He liked technology but didn't understand anything about it. That same day, he went shopping in town while I stayed on the farm all alone. Excited to be there, I wanted to scout the area with my drone. At the time, they weren't as popular as they are now, but my father collected them and knew I could be trusted to play with one of them while I was out. I turned on the drone and started flying it all over the farm. I got past the farm and went to the neighbor's house, but when I did, something strange happened. Someone threw a rock at my drone. As I redirected the drone back to the house, I noticed a person come out where the rock was thrown and stare at it. The man was terrifying. He was dressed like a bearded hillbilly that you saw in old movies. The man was gigantic and his eyes denoted terrible anger. Why was the man so enraged? I drove the drone to the house, but when I realized the man was behind it, chasing the drone. As soon as I entered the house through the upstairs window, the man was in front of the door, kicking it open. I remember that man, not because I had ever seen him, but because my uncle had told me about him. He warned me never to try to go near him or his farm. He is extremely dangerous and has not only fought many times with my uncle, but with everyone who got too close to him. I hid in the closet while the man screamed at the top of his lungs in the house, breaking everything in sight. Without wasting much time, the man came upstairs and started looking for me. With great force, he lifted the bed to look for me and threw it against the wall with frightening ease. Meanwhile, I was trying not to cry, but I couldn't hold myself, and he heard me. He opened the closet door, violently pulling me out, and lifted me with one hand. The man threw me violently as if I were a rag doll, and I put myself on the ground to defend myself. Although my real intention was to run as soon as I had the chance. I tried to attack him, but he just dodged me, laughing. At a moment when he thought I was going to throw myself at him, I took the opportunity to run as fast as I could, but it was in vain. In one leap, he blocked my path. Ahead of me, he was much more intimidating than I thought. I was not only a teenager, but a very weak one. I was always a very short boy with a tiny body frame. I was never in a fight, and gym class was never my favorite. On the other hand, this man was a beast. He was over 6 feet 2 inches tall. His body, despite being skinny, was very muscular. It was very easy to see that he trained, and a lot. The man insulted me in the most violent and threatening way possible. He told me that he hated city people like me. People who thought we could invade his property without the slightest interest in him. People who would destroy the peace of the farm by bringing in noise and technology. He told me that he didn't care that I was a child since when I grew up, I would surely be the same. My only response was to cry and cry. I was helpless in front of this monster who seemed to get angrier and angrier with each passing second. Even more empowered by his own anger, he lunged at me with both hands and began to choke me. His hands were strong and hard. At that moment, I thought I would die, either by running out of air or by him breaking my neck. The man started to shake me, and in an act of bravery, I bit his hand.
Out, little brat, how dare you?
Let me go! I thought he was going to release me from the pain, but I only made him angrier, and his response was horrendous. Grabbing me by the neck, he took me to the drone and stomped on it until it broke. Once he was done with it, he threw me out the window. I remember the fall lasted only 2 seconds, but it felt like it had been going on for hours. When I fell, I didn't feel anything, or at least, I don't remember it. I woke up a few days later in the city hospital. I found out that I almost didn't survive, and that if my uncle hadn't arrived on time that day, I wouldn't have made it, as the man came downstairs and was ready to finish his work. My uncle ended up injured in the fight with him, but at least it was not in vain, as shortly thereafter, the police arrested him and locked him up for attempted murder. Today, my uncle is no longer with us. I'm in charge of his farm now. The man's house was left uninhabited as he never returned and no one came to claim it. Every time I pass by, I remember that day. I remember how the man stormed out of the house, ready to hurt an innocent boy. After that, I just turn my head away. There are memories that are not worth reliving.
Last year, I moved out of my parents' house and rented a one-half of a duplex apartment. This apartment was previously rented by a friend of mine. He lived there for only a month and then offered it to me. He claimed that the apartment was haunted. I was thrilled to have an apartment at such a cheap rent on such short notice. I didn't believe that the place was haunted. Firstly, because all that just exists in movies. And secondly, my friend who claimed the place was haunted is an odd fellow. Nevertheless, my family helped me move into my apartment, and the first few nights were pretty uneventful. On most days, I left for work and returned in the evening, heated my dinner, and then went to bed. However, around a month later, I woke up in the wee hours of the morning to some sounds coming from my living room. It was as if someone was banging something on my tiled floor. The moment I stepped out of my bedroom, the noise stopped, and everything was as it is in the living room. For the rest of the night, nothing happened. The next few days, nothing happened. However, exactly a week later, I heard someone knock on a wall in the kitchen. It was weird, but I let it go thinking my neighbor must be doing it. However, weird things kept happening in that house whenever I was alone. Now I had started to think that maybe the house was, after all, haunted. Almost 2 months and a ton of weird experiences later, one evening, my elder sister was visiting me. We both loved to play video games and had a TV screen, especially for video games in my bedroom. The structure of my bedroom was simple. As soon as you enter the room, my bed is right in front of the door. To the left of my bed is a wall, and to the right is the door to the bathroom. Right in front of the bed, beside the door, is the TV screen. That day, I and my sister were playing Call of Duty when suddenly she rushed into the toilet behind me. As I was still busy playing, I paid no attention to her. The game was damn interesting, so instead of sitting on my bed comfortably, I was sitting on the edge of it, right in front of the TV. Suddenly, I felt a dip beside me. I was engrossed in the game and thought my sister might have returned from the washroom. However, instead of picking up the console and playing the video game, my sister just sat there. When I turned around to look, to my utter shock, there was no one there with me on the bed. My sister was still in the washroom, but the bed had a dip in it, as if someone had sat there. I called out to my sister, and she replied from the washroom. At that moment, I realized that there was something seriously wrong with my apartment. When my sister walked into the room, I had already packed up my bag for the night and wanted to leave with her to live at her place. "What happened, Sarah?" All I managed to say was, "We need to leave, now." The next 2 nights I spent at my sister's place, not daring to return to my apartment. After that incident, I was 100% sure that my apartment was haunted and that my friend wasn't lying. I was ready to give up the apartment and find a new one, but my sister convinced me not to give up the apartment for such a reason. Instead, she told me to adopt a pet, probably a cat, to keep me company. So after a week, I adopted a red tabby and named him Pearl. From day one, I knew he was a demanding cat. He needed my attention a lot, unlike other cats. And it was great because I was distracted most of the time when I was home. This did not draw my attention to the weird and borderline paranormal things happening in my apartment. One evening, when I came back late from work, Pearl was at the door waiting for me. I quickly picked him up, fed him, and went for a shower. Before going into the bathroom, I put a frozen pizza into the microwave to heat until I got back. While I was showering, I distinctly remember hearing the chime of the microwave, indicating that my pizza was heated. I finished my shower, got dressed, and then went into the kitchen to get my pizza. But to my utter shock, the microwave was empty and switched off. I walked into the living room, all puzzled, and found my steaming hot pizza in a plate on the couch. I was so baffled, but then Pearl jumped into my lap, and I just ate the pizza like nothing out of the ordinary had happened just a second ago. However, I lost my cool and left the apartment for good a month later. It was a rainy day, and the atmosphere was in itself very gloomy. I was in my bedroom and watching a movie with Pearl in my lap. Mind you, I wasn't watching a horror movie or even a thriller. I was watching a rom-com. Usually whenever I'm on my bed, Pearl prefers to curl up on my lap and take his nap. But that day, suddenly he jumped off my lap and walked out of the bedroom. I thought he must be thirsty or wanting to use the litter box, but instead, he stood in the hallway leading up to the living room and was constantly mewing at something. At first, I ignored it, but a while later, when he did not stop mewing, I walked out. There in the living room stood my grandfather. He was wearing his usual shorts and a t-shirt. His glasses parched up on his forehead, and he was staring at me. For a second, I just stood there, looking at him. And then he walked deep into the living room, out of my sight. I just stood in my bedroom's doorway, shaking to my core. For anyone else, it would have been a normal interaction with a grandparent. But for me, it wasn't. Because my grandfather had passed away 5 years ago. I just picked up Pearl, took my car keys, and left. I never looked back. I asked the movers and packers to move my stuff to my parents' home. After that, I never had the guts to ever live alone.
This morbid incident happened 8 years ago. I'd been saving up money for a new house, and at the end of July, I'd managed to get enough money to buy one. I probably looked through over 20-plus houses during my search, and after looking through those 20, I finally found the one that was perfect for me. It was an old blue house that was located at the end of the street. It had plenty of rooms, as it was a family house, and it also had a beautiful interior. But as amazing as it was, the best thing about the house was its price. The deal I had gotten on it seemed too good to be true, as I wondered why a house this big and this nice was on sale for such a low price. I remember the realtor who was trying to sell me the house told me that she had been trying to sell the house for a while now, but for some reason most of the potential buyers always seemed to drop out or change their minds before the deal was made. I remember being completely baffled, as I wondered why anyone in their right mind would turn down a deal like this. As I said earlier, the deal I was getting on this house seemed too good to be true, and I could tell the realtor really wanted to get it off her hands. I knew there had to be some sort of catch or a hidden reason as to why people didn't want this house, but I also knew that I wouldn't get a deal like this in the next million years, so I ignored my worried thoughts, and I bought it. I moved in the following week after everything concerning the paperwork had been settled. I had a lot of space since it was a family house and I lived alone, and while I didn't plan on finding a nice girl and starting a family yet, I looked at my new house as a future investment, as I told myself that I'd use it in case I ever wanted to do that in the future. The first few weeks were perfect, as I was still in my honeymoon phase, but as time passed by, I started to notice some very strange things about my new house. For starters, I'd noticed the kids around the neighborhood avoided my house like it was the plague. I thought I was imagining it at first, but I soon realized that almost all the kids in the neighborhood were deathly afraid of my house. And it wasn't just the kids. Some adults, too, were also going out of their way to avoid my home. When I first noticed this, I thought there was a sewage leak or something, but after inspecting the front and back of the house, I saw nothing wrong. The strange behavior of my neighbors eventually began to worry me, and as more time passed by, things got even worse, as not only were they avoiding my house, most of them started to avoid me too. I was never told why I was being treated like this, as I asked myself if it was something I had done. And even when I had tried asking what the problem was, I was always brushed off. The joy I had originally gotten from buying the house had now turned into worry. I spent days racking my brain for answers to their strange behavior, and while I didn't find any at first, the 13th of November 2014 would bring a terrifying clue to the answers I was looking for. I had gotten back a bit late from work that day. I was too tired to cook anything, so I just had the usual microwave dinner and watched some TV. After that, I decided to have a quick shower, and after running the water and getting the shower ready, I laid down on my bed, as I just wanted to shut my eyes for a little while before entering the shower. I guess I was pretty tired as I dozed off, and after 4+ hours, I was abruptly woken up by the sound of a talking child as I kept hearing the words, "Please call my father." I was perplexed at first, as I wondered where the voice was coming from. Then I remembered I had been watching TV before I came to bed, so I told myself the voice had to be coming from the TV. I was still a bit confused, as I could remember turning off the television, but it wasn't the first time I had left it on, so I made my way downstairs to turn it off. As I got closer to the living room, I was sure that it was the television now, as the sound was loudest there, but before I could reach the living room, I froze. Now, I was pretty sure that the voice was coming from the television, but standing close to the doorway of the living room, I finally realized it wasn't, because the room was completely dark, and I told myself that if the TV was on, I would have seen the light from it illuminating the room. I was completely frightened now, as even if the voice wasn't coming from the TV, it was definitely coming from the living room. I was so scared that I couldn't move, and I just stood there hearing this child's voice repeat the words, "Please call my father. Please." I don't know how long I stood there. I'm guessing it was about 30 minutes or so, but just like it started out of nowhere, the voice abruptly stopped. I stood there for a while thinking I was going to hear it again, but I heard nothing but silence. After a couple of minutes, I decided to walk up to my bed as I was too scared to look into the living room that night. The morning soon arrived, and I didn't sleep a wink. I eventually found the courage to check my living room, and when I did, I saw absolutely nothing. Everything was exactly the way I'd left it last night. The incident was mind-boggling as I wondered what it could have been. I decided not to tell anyone about it, as I didn't want to seem crazy. I did, however, have a hard time sleeping after that. A couple of weeks had passed now since the first strange incident. I had managed to start sleeping well again, as I told myself my mind was just playing tricks on me since I was home alone. But as the next day came, I started to doubt that theory. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was inside the living room reading a book when I heard the words, "My child," coming from upstairs. Just like the last time, the voice kept repeating itself, but this time I could tell that it was a woman's voice. I quickly grabbed the signed baseball bat I had, as it was the only weapon I could find. I was really scared, just like the last time it happened, but I told myself that this time I wasn't just going to stand there and do nothing. So I made my way to where the voice was coming from. I traced the voice back to one of the bedrooms, and when I got there, I lifted up the bat and I quickly opened the door. Shockingly, the instant I opened the door, the voice stopped. As I stood in that room, a lot of things started to run through my head. I knew any other person in my shoes would have come up with strange theories like the house being haunted, but I wasn't a spiritual person and I didn't believe in stuff like that. But at the same time, I was finding it very hard to come up with a feasible explanation for this. I thought about going to the cops and asking them to carry out an investigation, but I knew how ridiculous and insane I would look telling the cops that I was hearing voices in my house. The peculiar situation perplexed me, as no matter how much I racked my brain, I didn't know what to do. I'd basically spent my life savings on this house, so leaving wasn't an option. So I calmed myself, and I hoped it would eventually stop. But just 3 days after the second incident, the third followed. I had started spending longer hours at work after the second incident, as I tried my best to lengthen the time I spent out of the house. I remember returning late from work that Wednesday. After arriving at my house, I tried to open the door when I heard a man say the words, "Please let us go," from inside my house. Shocked, I backed away from the house, but no matter how far I got, I could still hear the voices. I felt everything that night as I was terrified, frightened and scared, but I was also annoyed now as the third incident was the last straw for me. Knowing full well that insurance doesn't cover spirits or ghosts, I decided to try a drastic option, as I hired an acclaimed spiritual guru to get rid of the unwelcome house guests. The man arrived the next morning, and after pouring his powders and salts around my house, he started to say some incantations. I didn't really believe anything he was doing would work, and I was a bit salty that I had to pay $160 for this. But I was desperate, so I hoped that this mumbo-jumbo would be successful. The guru's incantations took some time, and while nothing really happened at first, I eventually started to hear gut-wrenching screams all over the house. I held my ears in pain as the screams pierced through my very soul. The guru, who had now noticed I was in pain, asked what was wrong, so I assumed he couldn't hear the screams I was hearing. I eventually couldn't take it anymore, so I tried tracing the sounds like last time, and I realized that they were coming from the basement. When I got there, it felt like the screams were coming from the floor, so I took a sledgehammer and I started hitting the floor. The guru who had followed me down thought I had gone crazy, but I didn't care as I wanted the screaming to stop, so I kept hitting the floor, and once I broke the concrete, the screaming stopped. The things I had seen under the broken concrete made me scream, and it wasn't long before the cops were called. 3 human skeletons were found in the floor of my basement. 2 of them belonged to adults, and the third one belonged to a child. I was called in for questioning, and I told them everything that had been happening in my home, and after I told them everything in detail, the cops then proceeded to answer all the questions that had been perplexing me for the past few months. I was told by the police officers that around 30 years ago, the entire Brewer family that had previously lived in my house had gone missing. Investigations revealed that the last man to be seen with the family was a man called Ryan Howard. The man was taken in for questioning, but unfortunately, he managed to kill himself before the police could get anything out of him. The case eventually slowed down after that, as Ryan Howard was the only person who could have told the police where to find the family. Detectives believed he had murdered the family, as Mr. Howard's track record showed that he had been in prison for attempted murder before. I was also told that the strange sentences I heard were exactly the same statements given by the questioned witnesses, as it was revealed that Harry, the child of Mr. and Mrs. Brewer, was heard saying the words, "Please call my father." Witnesses also stated that his mother, Sarah's, known last words were, "Don't hurt my child," and the father, Maurice Brewer's, were, "Please, let us go." These were all the recorded statements that were got from the house during the murder. Due to this incident, the house had been stigmatized by the surrounding neighborhood and potential buyers who always lost interest whenever they found out about its past. The case had apparently gone cold a long time ago, with no leads on the whereabouts of the family, and the cops said that, if not for my strange experiences, they might never have found the bodies. Even after 8 years, this incident is still fresh inside my head. It took a while before things got back to normal, and with a lot of therapy, I learned to move past it. The strange occurrences actually led me to see the world differently, and in a more open-minded way, as I've come to realize that there are things in this world that science or logic can't explain. I've never heard any voices again since that day, and while the ghastly incident did leave me with some trauma, I'm very glad I was able to give the Brewer family the peace they so desperately needed.